Welcome back, Awakened Intuitives. Welcome to any new Awakened Intuitives. Natalie here. We are back to do a reading on Atlantis Legends or Legend. I don't know what to call it yet, so I'll figure that out when I get it uploaded. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. We did. It was super nice. And so I'm ready to come back and do another reading on this specific place, and I can't wait. My last reading was a Bermuda Triangle, and there were some connections with the Atlantis legend, possibly ruins. So I just was like, all right, it's time to do Atlantis. So I've done Lemuria, I did Egypt, the Great Pyramids of Giza, and a few others. So I can't wait. Let's get started. I do have some high frequency healing music playing in the background. I do not own the rights to. If you want to skip any of the information read, you totally can. That will be in the comments below, the timestamp. So go ahead, feel free, but I do have some pretty cool stuff and things I didn't even know. So it's going to be a little long, but anyway, after that, I'll do some general energy read messages, and then we'll begin the reading. So let me timestamp this and I'll begin to read. Okay, we'll do 130. All right, Atlantis Legends. The legend of Atlantis. Is it real? Was this an ancient civilization that had otherworldly connections? Did the civilization have incredibly advanced technology? And did this civilization get swept away by the waters of Earth? Well, we are going to ask these questions and see if we can find out. Do you believe in tarot? Do you believe in multidimensional beings, whether angels, extraterrestrial, or even source God? Do you believe in intuition, your gut feelings? Do you believe in coincidences or something much more connected? In my opinion, belief, gut feeling, intuition. I don't believe in coincidences, and in order to learn anything at all, it is important, probably even the most important thing, gift to have is an open mind. Okay, so with the tarot and my intuition, with the synchronicities and connection to source and universe, I'm here to ask the questions, to gain more insight, to gain knowledge and wisdom, to grow and expand in all good things possible. So let's see what we are able to get with the cards, the tools we are given, and in this reading, I'm sure we will gain some knowledge in some way, even if it's for our own personal growth. After all, I'm here for truth, to think freely, to be open-minded, and to truly think, feel for myself. Let's get started, okay? I do have to say all this information is for entertainment purposes only, just in case. Truth is always stranger than fiction. Let me glow, let you glow, and use your discernment. Let's go. They say Atlantis is a fictional island, mentioned in an allegory on the hubris of nations in Plato's works, Timaeus and Critias. I'm not sure. Critias, wherein it represents the antagonist naval power that besieges ancient Athens, the pseudo-historic embodiment of Plato's ideal state in the Republic. In the story, Athens repels the Atlantean attack, unlike any other nation of the known world, supposedly bearing witness to the superiority of Plato's concept of a state. The story concludes with Atlantis falling out of favor with the deities and submerging into the Atlantic Ocean. The allegorical aspect of several Renaissance writers, such as Francis Bacon's New Atlantis and Thomas More's Utopia. Plato is known to have freely borrowed some of his allegories and metaphors from older traditions. For instance, with the story of Gyges, I'm not sure. This led to a number of scholars to investigate possible inspiration of Atlantis from Egyptian records of the Thera eruption, the Sea People's invasion, or the Trojan War. The primary sources for Atlantis are Plato's dialogues Timaeus and Critias. All other mentions of the island are based on them. The dialogues claim to quote Solon, who visited Egypt between 590 and 580 BC. They state that he translated Egyptian records of Atlantis. Plato introduced Atlantis in Timaeus, written in 360 BC. This is what he wrote. For it is related in our records how once upon a time your state stayed the course of a mighty host, which, starting from a distant point in the Atlantic Ocean, was insolently advancing to attack the whole of Europe and Asia to boot. For the ocean there was at that time navigable, for in front of the mouth, which you Greeks call, as you say, the pillars of Heracles, which is Hercules. There lay an island which was larger than Libya and Asia together, and it was possible for the travelers of that time to cross from it to the other islands, and from the islands to the whole of the continent over against them, which encompasses that veritable ocean. For all that we have here, lying within the mouth of which we speak, is evidently a haven having a narrow entrance portal. I'm not sure, okay? But that yonder is a real ocean, and the land surrounding it may most rightly be called, in the fullest and truest sense, a continent. Now, in this island of Atlantis there existed a confederation of kings of great and marvelous power, which held sway over all the island and over many other islands also, and parts of the continent. So now in Plato's Critias, the Hellenic deities of old divided the land so that each deity might have their own lot. Poseidon was appropriately and to his liking bequeathed the island of Atlantis. The island later sunk by an earthquake and became an impassable mud shoal, inhibiting travel to any part of the ocean. Plato asserted that the Egyptians described Atlantis as an island consisting mostly of mountains in the northern portions and along the shore, and encompassing a great plain in an oblong shape in the south, extending in one direction 345 miles, but across the center inland it was 230 miles. 6 miles from the coast was a mountain that was low on all sides, broke it off all around about. The central island itself was 0.57 miles. In Plato's tale or story, Poseidon fell in love with Cleito, the daughter of Evenor and Leucip, who bore him 5 pairs of male twins. The eldest, Atlas, was made rightful king of the entire island and the ocean, called the Atlantic Ocean, in his honor. Poseidon carved the mountain where his love dwelt into a palace and enclosed it with 3 circular moats of increasing width, separated by rings of land, proportional in size. The Atlanteans then built bridges northward from the mountain, making a route to the rest of the island. They dug a great canal to the sea, and alongside the bridges carved tunnels into the rings of rock so that ships could pass into the city around the mountain. They carved docks from the rock walls of the moats. Every passage to the city was guarded by gates and towers, and a wall surrounded each ring of the city. The walls were constructed of red, white, and black rock, quarried from the moats, and were covered with brass, tin, and the precious metal orichalcum. According to Critias, 9,000 years before his lifetime, a war took place between those outside the Pillars of Hercules at the Strait of Gibraltar and those who dwelt within them. The Atlanteans had conquered the parts of Libya within the Pillars of the Hercules, as far as Egypt, and European continent as far as Tyria, and had subjected its people to slavery. The Athenians led an alliance of resistors against the Atlantean Empire, and as the alliance disintegrated, prevailed alone against the empire, liberating the occupied lands. But afterwards there occurred violent earthquakes and floods, and in a single day and night of misfortune all your warlike men in a body sank into the earth, and the island of Atlantis in like manner disappeared in the depths of the sea. For which reason the sea is those parts is impassable and impenetrable, because there is a shoal of mud in the way, and this was caused by the subsidence of the island. Another passage from the commentary by Proclus on the Timaeus gives a description of the geography of Atlantis. Now it says, that an island of such nature and size once existed is evident from what is said by certain authors who investigated the things around the outer sea, for according to them there were 7 islands in that sea in their time sacred to Persephone, and also 3 others of enormous size, one of which was sacred to Hades, another to Ammon, and another one between them to Poseidon, the extent of which was 1,000 stadia, 200 kilometers or 124 miles, and the inhabitants of it they add preserved the remembrance from their ancestors of the immeasurably large island of Atlantis, which had really existed there, and which for many ages had reigned over all islands in the Atlantic Sea, and which itself had likewise been sacred to Poseidon. Now these things Marcellus has written in this Ethiopica Marcellus remains unidentified, they say. Other ancient historians and philosophers who believed in the existence of Atlantis were Strabo and Posidonius. Some have theorized that before the 6th century BC, the Pillars of Hercules may have applied to mountains on either side of the Gulf of Laconia, and also may have been part of the pillar cult of the Aegon. The mountains stood on either side of the southernmost gulf in Greece, the largest in the Peloponnese, and it opens onto the Mediterranean Sea. This would have placed Atlantis in the Mediterranean, lending credence to many details to Plato's discussion. The 4th century historian Ammianus Marcellinus, relying on a lost work by Timagenes, a historian writing in the 1st century BC, writes that the Druids of Gaul said that the part of the inhabitants of Gaul had migrated there from distant islands. Some have understood Ammianus's testimony as a claim that at the time of Atlantis' sinking into the sea, its inhabitants fled to Western Europe. But Ammianus, in fact, says that the Drasidae, Druids, recall that a part of the population is indigenous, but others also migrated in from islands and lands beyond the Rhine, an indication that the immigrants came to Gaul from the North, Britain, the Netherlands, or Germany, not from a theorized location in the Atlantic Ocean to the southwest. Instead, the Celts who dwelled along the ocean were reported to venerate twin gods, Dioscuri, who appeared to them coming from that ocean. During the early 1st century, the Hellenistic Jewish philosopher Philo wrote about the destruction of Atlantis in his On the Eternity of the World 141, in a longer passage allegedly citing Aristotle's successor Theophrastus and the island of Atlantis, which was greater than Africa and Asia, as Plato says in the Timaeus, in one day and night was overwhelmed beneath the sea, in consequence of an extraordinary earthquake and an inundation, and suddenly disappeared, becoming sea, not indeed navigable, but full of gulfs and eddies. Katie, stop it. Cosmus Indicoplistus in the 6th century wrote of Atlantis in his Christian topography in an attempt to prove his theory that the world was flat and surrounded by water. In like manner, the philosopher Timaeus also describes this earth as surrounded by the ocean, and the ocean as surrounded by the more remote earth, for he supposes that there is to westward and inland Atlantis lying out in the ocean in the direction of Gadara, Cadiz, of an enormous magnitude, and relates that the 10 kings, having procured mercenaries from the nations in this island, came from the earth far away and conquered Europe and Asia, but were afterwards conquered by the Athenians, while that island itself was submerged by God under the sea. Both Plato and Aristotle praise the philosopher, and Proclus has written a commentary on him. He himself expresses views similar to our own, with some modifications, transferring to the scene of the events from the east to the west. Moreover, he mentions those 10 generations, as well as that earth which lies beyond the ocean. And in a word, it is evident that all of them borrow from Moses and publish his statements as his own. Francisco Lopez de Gomora was the first to state that Plato was referring to America, as did Francis Bacon and Alexander von Humboldt. Contemporary perceptions of Atlantis share roots with Mayanism, which can be traced to the beginning of the modern age, when Europe imaginations were fueled by their initial encounters with the indigenous people of the Americas. From this era sprang apocalyptic and utopian visions that would inspire many subsequent generations of theorists. The term utopia was coined by Sir Thomas More in his 16th century work, A Fiction Utopia, inspired by Plato's Atlantis and travelers' accounts of the Americas. More described an imaginary land set in the New World. Its idealistic vision established a connection between the Americas and utopian societies, a theme that Bacon discussed in the New Atlantis, 1623. Kitty, stop! Okay. A character in the narrative gives a history of Atlantis that is similar to Plato's and places Atlantis in America. People had begun believing that the Mayan and Aztec ruins could possibly be the remnants of Atlantis. In the middle of the 19th century, several renowned Mesoamerican scholars formally proposed that Atlantis was somehow related to Mayan and Aztec culture. A French scholar, Brasseur de Bourbourg, traveled extensively through Mesoamerica in the mid-1800s and was renowned for his translations of Mayan texts, most notably the sacred book Popol Vuh, as well as a comprehensive history of the region. Soon after these publications, however, Brasseur lost his academic credibility due to his claim that the Maya peoples had descended from the Toltecs, people who he believed were the surviving population of the racially superior civilization of Atlantis. Oh my gosh. Inspired by Brasseur's theories, the pseudo-archaeologist Augustus Le Plongeon traveled to Mesoamerica and performed some of the first excavations of many famous Mayan ruins. Augustus invented narratives such as the Kingdom of Muse saga, which drew connections to him, his wife Alice, and Egyptian deities Osiris and Isis, as well as to Heinrich Schliemann, who had just discovered the ancient city of Troy from Homer's epic poetry. He also believed that he had found connections between the Greek and Mayan languages, which produced a narrative of the destruction of Atlantis. The 1882 publication of Atlantis, The Antediluvian World by Ignatius L. Donnelly, stimulated much popular interest in Atlantis. He was greatly inspired by early works in Mayanism and, like them, attempted to establish that all known ancient civilizations were descended from Atlantis, which he saw as a technologically sophisticated, more advanced culture. Donnelly drew parallels between creation stories in the Old and New worlds, attributing the connections to Atlantis, where he believed the biblical Garden of Eden existed. As applied by the title of his book, he also believed that Atlantis was destroyed by the Great Flood mentioned in the Bible. Donnelly is credited as the father of the 19th century Atlantis revival and is the reason the myth, they say myth, endures today. Helena Blavatsky, the founder of the Theosophists, took up Donnelly's interpretations when she wrote The Secret Doctrine in 1888, which she claimed was originally dictated in Atlantis. She maintained that the Atlanteans were cultural heroes, contrary to Plato, who describes them as a military threat. She believed in a form of racial evolution as opposed to a primate evolution. In her process of evolution, the Atlanteans were the fourth root race, which were succeeded by the fifth, the Aryan race, which she identified with the modern human race. In her book, Blavatsky reported that the civilization of Atlantis reached its peak between 1,000,000 and 900,000 years ago, but destroyed itself through internal warfare brought about by the dangerous use of psychic and supernatural powers of the inhabitants. Like, wow. Okay, this is just amazing. All right, so we're almost there. Rudolf Steiner, the founder of Anthroposophy and Waldorf schools, along with other well-known theosophists such as Annie Besant, also wrote of cultural evolution in much of the same vein. Other occultists followed the same lead, at least to the point of tracing the lineage of occult practices back to Atlantis. Blavatsky was also inspired by the work of the 18th century astronomer Jean Sylvain Bailly, who had orientalized Atlantis in his mythical continent of Hyperborea, a reference to Greek myths featuring a northern European region of the same name, home to a giant godlike race. Blavatsky's writings mention that the Atlantean were in fact olive-skinned peoples with Mongoloid traits, who were the ancestors of modern Native Americans, Mongolians, and Malayans. The idea that the Atlanteans were Hyperborean Nordic supermen who originated in the north was popular in the German Erosophik movement around 1900, propagated by Guido von List. and others, it gave its name to the Theolgesellschaft, an anti-Semitic Munich lodge, which preceded the German Nazi Party. Okay, the scholars Karl Georg, or George, I can't say his last name, Skeitz, 1920, and Hermann Wirth, 1928, were the first to speak of a Nordic Atlantean or Aryan Nordic master race that spread from Atlantis over the northern hemisphere and beyond. The Hyperboreans were contrasted with the Jewish people. Party ideologist Alfred Rosenberg in The Myth of the 20th Century, 1930, and SS leader Heinrich Himmler made it part of the official doctrine. Okay, the idea of Atlantis as the homeland of the Caucasian race would contradict the beliefs of the older esoteric and theosophic groups, which taught that the Atlanteans were non-Caucasian brown-skinned peoples. Modern esoteric groups, including the Theosophic Society, do not consider Atlantean society to have been superior or utopian. They rather consider a lower stage of evolution. Now, Edgar Cayce, the clairvoyant, spoke frequently of Atlantis. During his life readings, he claimed that many of his subjects were reincarnations of people who had lived there. By tapping into their collective consciousness, the Akashic records, Cayce declared that he was able to give detailed descriptions of the lost continent. He also asserted that Atlantis would rise again in the 1960s and that there is a hall of records beneath the Egyptian Sphinx, which holds the historical text of Atlantis. There have been dozens of locations proposed for Atlantis. Many of the proposed sites share some of the characteristics of the Atlantis story: water, catastrophic and relevant time period, but none have been demonstrated to be a true historical Atlantis. This link will be listed in the description below. Okay, that was all on this one Wikipedia site. Okay, now in a Netflix series, Ancient Apocalypse, presented by the author Graham Hancock, the program argues that a once sophisticated culture was destroyed by floods triggered by a giant comet which crashed on Earth, a disaster that inspired the legend of Atlantis. It is claimed. According to Hancock, survivors of the calamity spread throughout the world, which was then populated by simple hunter-gatherers, bringing them science, technology, agriculture, and monumental architecture. We owe everything to these near-godlike individuals, it is claimed. Hancock, who has been promoting these ideas in his books for decades, argues, Kylan, go put the kitty out. Go put the kitty out. Argues that archaeologists have deliberately covered up this catastrophic vision of civilizations spread, and accuses mainstream academia of its extremely defensive, arrogant, and patronizing attitudes. Graham Hancock has been criticized by archaeologists. Hancock describes himself as a journalist. He takes the story in suggesting that survivors were the investigators of the great works of other civilizations, from Egypt to Mexico to Turkey to Indonesia. So what really happened? Are some of these stories true? Are they all somewhat true? Has this history been covered up? If so, why? So let's see what we can get, what answers we can get out of the cards. Oh, I'm like so interested. I'm so excited. Throughout this reading, I'll kind of like let you know what my beliefs are, what I feel about it too. Oh man, it's so dark. I hope it's not too dark here. But anyway, let's get started. That is the information read. We are done. Let's get started on a general energy read on Atlantis legend. So I'm gonna move my mahogany onyx I just got over the weekend. It's so cool. It's got some red tint to it. I do have a video of it, but if you want to check it out. All right, now break time. Let me timestamp this. Oh my gosh, it's been 24 minutes. Woo! And this is gonna have a part 2 for sure. I wish it wasn't so dark. Okay, 2442. We are going to start with the general energy messages on the Legend of Atlantis. And we're going to start with the Angel Wisdom cards. All these decks will be listed in the description below in the order of the video, but I should tell you. So, Angel Wisdom. Divine Source, can you tell us anything? Give us any messages, any clues, anything that may help this reading, pull up truth, knowledge, anything we can learn on the Legend of Atlantis. Ooh, did you hear that? That was loud. Anything at all from the Angel Wisdom deck? Anything at all. Thank you. Wow, we have Archangel Zadkiel. Very interesting. So maybe Archangel Zadkiel, maybe someone stepping in to help us figure things out, gain some insight. I don't know. I only connect with Source Divine, my protectors and ancestors of the light, okay? Archangel Zadkiel will help you to find tolerance and forgiveness. He works on the violet ray of purification and transmutation, helping you to release lower vibrations and ascend to a higher way of being. Ooh, I just want to know, did any of the Atlanteans ascend? Ascend? Because you would think some or all didn't survive, right? Or I do think there were survivors, but not everybody survived. Anyway, Angel Wisdom suggests that you visualize yourself in the violet flame and invoke Archangel Zadkiel to help you. Place your troubles and difficult relationships within the flame so that all negativity is transmuted. You are blessed to have drawn this card today, for it indicates that you are ready to walk the path of light. Affirmation, I'm cleansed within the violet flame. Okay, crown chakra. Violet colors, purple. Interesting. Okay, we're going to set that back there. And now we're going to pull from the Awakened Dreamer Oracle. All right, one more shuffle. Can we get one from the Awakened Dreamer Oracle, please? Spread your wings. Oh, that's interesting. We got that Archangel Zadkiel too. That's funny. Give yourself space to move and explore new surroundings. See yourself becoming the butterfly version of yourself, wings and all. Contemplate what it's like to fly. Be light. Dabble in new things. Feel at liberty to create a little change or a complete metamorphosis. That's so interesting. Okay, maybe we'll get some more information on that while we begin and work through our questions. Okay, last one from the Shaman Wisdom Oracle, please. Can I get one more from the Shaman Wisdom Oracle on the Legend of Atlantis? I'm just going to call it Atlantis reading. Can I get one more, please, on Atlantis? One more, please. Okay, one flipped over. It's a number 36. We could add those numbers up and get a 9. 9 is higher learning, higher education. That's why I am here. Absolutely. And it can be spirituality and faith. And it is said that these people were very spiritual and had supernatural powers and stuff. We'll find out. It's represented by nettle. It says masculine, west, Mars, and fire. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. I am nettle. I am purification. If properly handled, I offer strength and healing. I take the sting out of the problems of the heart. I am the tonic that keeps the flow of emotions in check. We're talking about water here, okay? Protect yourself with the fire of the nettle. Inquiry may result from problems or issues that are not properly handled. Okay. We're going to keep those in mind, absolutely. All right. Okay, that is it. I do want to begin the reading now, and I'm going to start off with that. Did any of the Atlanteans ascend? Okay. Let's start at 30 minutes. Oh my gosh. All right, we are going to start. Wow, I cut to the star. That's interesting. Star beings, Aquarius energy, channeling, wish her to the universe. Anyway, so my question was, did any of the Atlanteans ascend to a higher being, ascend to a higher frequency, ascend in any way? Did any of the Atlanteans ascend? Are you kidding me? Look at that. The freaking star. You gotta be kidding me. Absolutely. Look at that. She's got strings attached from the universe. It's a number 17, Aquarius energy. We could add up the 17, 1 and 7 to an 8. Death, rebirth, regeneration, endings, and new beginnings. Ascending? Are you kidding me? Look at this. And oh, remember that violet flame that we got in the general read, the general energy read? Wow. They ascended through their crown chakra. That is freaking amazing. All right. So there's that. And now we're going to begin with my question number 1 originally. And we're definitely going to have a part 2. All right. So was Atlantis a real place? I'm a believer, but was Atlantis a real place, please? Show us in the cards. Was Atlantis a real place? Anything at all from the cards. Thank you. What? Are you kidding me? Wow. That's a major arcana. Now we have another major arcana. It's funny because this was a 17. Now we have a 16. We're counting down. And this is the Tower card. Okay. There's some connections with towers and Atlantis, okay? The tower is fire. It is Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. It is lightning striking, crumbling of the foundation. Nothing will ever be the same. Total upheaval, total change, transformation. We got the metamorphosis with the Spread Your Wings Oracle General Energy read. I absolutely believe so. I really do. Look at the lightning striking. It's like lightning here as well. Destroyed. That is crazy. Holy cow. Sorry it's so dark. Anyway, was Plato telling the truth in his Timaeus and Critias? Was Plato telling the truth in the Timaeus and Critias? Well, we have a Knight of Cups now. That's Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy, water. Knights wear the armor, they battle, they get in there and they fight. But the Knight of Cups wears his heart on his sleeve. He comes from a sensitive place, his heart space, his heart chakra, his feelings and emotions. He may spread love letters. Interesting. And he may pour his feelings and emotions out there and get turned down a lot, so he doesn't always finish the race. He was turned down a lot. He still is to this day. I think he came from his heart. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. All right, is it true the Egyptians knew of Atlantis? Is it true that the Egyptians knew of Atlantis? Is it true? Another major arcana, we have the Fool. It's a 0 of the major arcanas. The Fool is a leap of faith, trusting the fall, new adventures, spontaneous, having full faith and jumping for it and jumping into the unknown. She's holding a purple crystal in her hand. This crown chakra thing, this violet flame. I think they had absolute full faith in it. And it's sacred geometry beneath her. Oh my gosh. Yes. I believe so. Okay. Now, were they survivors of Atlantis? Were they survivors of Atlantis? The Egyptians? Oh. Yeah. Now we have the sun. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. This is enlightenment. This is joy, abundance, happiness. This is enlightened. It's a number 19. We could add those numbers up and get a 10. Fulfillment, completion, or a 1. New beginnings. The sun is a huge yes in the tarot. They were survivors of Atlantis. This is so good. I don't want to have to come back and do part 2. But you know what? They're always good. It doesn't matter. Okay. So now, were there any survivors at all from Atlantis? Let's just get a confirmation. Were there any survivors at all from Atlantis? Holy shite. Okay. We've got a 9 of Wands. Oh my gosh, and now we have a 3 of Wands. So both Wands, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. Okay, so the Wands is fire, action, passion. The 9 of Wands. 9 is higher learning, higher education, spirituality, faith. Okay, the 9 of Wands can be a spiritual warrior. It can be standing up for your beliefs, standing up for everything you've built, everything you've worked hard for, standing up. And yeah, it can be an absolute spiritual warrior. And then we have a 3 of Wands. 3 can be communication, transportation, and journeys. And this can be taking an action to make plans, planning, and embarking and trading. I believe they were warriors. They stood up, did what they had to do, and they embarked. They possibly planned to escape or to embark. Wow. And this 3 of Wands, she's looking out at the ocean. Oh, that is so interesting. Okay, how about this? Did some plan to survive? Did some plan to survive? Did some plan to survive? Oh, justice! Oh, absolutely. It's a number 11. 11 can be doorways. It can be a portal. This is Libra energy. This is truth, balance, clarity, justice, karma, the scales, the true sword. Absolutely. Her reflection is in water. Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Okay. Now, if so, did they spread out throughout the world? Did they spread out throughout the world? Did they spread out throughout the world? Are you kidding me? 6 of Swords? 6 is health, wellness, daily routines, and boundaries, organization. Swords is air, words. But 6 of Swords is travel. It is moving out of troubled waters and moving to a more calmer ground. Travel. Yeah. And look at all the ravens or crows, whatever they are. Oh my gosh, this is like on point. So cool. All right. With my reading on the previous Bermuda Triangle, I asked if the remains of Atlantis were underneath the Bermuda Triangle. I got a yes. So, can I get a confirmation? Are some of the ruins and remains of Atlantis underneath the Bermuda Triangle? Okay, we have a 5 of Cups. 5 is changes, transformations, challenges. Cups is water, emotions, and feelings. What's interesting about this card is that it can be sadness. It can be feeling drained and draining. And look, this cup is spilling into this type of portal. And I'm a believer in the Bermuda Triangle being like a type of portal or vortex. Yeah. Look at the card. I think, see how the cups are spread out? And the 1 is spilling into this vortex. I think some of the remains of Atlantis is there. And I think some are spread out. Holy crap! Oh, this is so freaking cool. Okay. Oh. Now, let's see. Our next question is, was Atlantis the Americas? I'm starting to think so. Was Atlantis the Americas? Okay, we have a Four of Pentacles. Four's home. Family, structure, stability, solid foundation. Pentacles is tangible things, earthly things. Four of Pentacles can be holding on too tightly, holding back, greedy, a user, a hoarder, holding onto something, clutching onto something. But this for me is home of Atlantis. You know what? Let's get another deck. I want a confirmation. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, kitty, please stop. Stop it. Let's do the Shadowscapes Tarot. Shadowscapes Tarot now. That dang cat. He is so loud. He's too freaking cute. Okay, can I get a confirmation? Are the Americas the home of Atlantis? Are the Americas the home of Atlantis? Nine of Swords. Nine is higher learning, higher education, spirituality, faith. Swords is air, words, communication. The Nine of Swords can be can't eat, sleep, or think. It can be dark night of the soul. Totally, completely in your head about decisions, thoughts. He's like this angel holding a sword, and he's got tattoo. He's got a tattoo of swords on his chest, and there's these ravens, and they're like flying up into this vortex. Ooh, okay. How about this? Were some of the Americas home of Atlantis? Were some of the Americas home to Atlantis? Four of Swords now. Four's home, family, structure, stability. Okay, Four of Swords, though, is laid to rest. It can be resting after battle, recuperation, resting, taking time out, but it is laid to rest. Like, I think so, and I think it was laid to rest. Like, it was destroyed, right? Destroyed. And look, swallowed up. That is so freaking interesting. Okay, I got more questions coming up. Already at 42 minutes. Holy cow. Okay. Did it exist where the continents were closer together before they separated? So did the Atlantis exist where the continents were closer together before they separated? Did it exist before the continents separated? Did it exist before the continents separated? Holy cow. All right, well, looks like I need another deck. Yep, let's do the Muse. Absolutely. Try this. I just seen the Ace of Swords. So, can you tell us with the Muse Tarot, did Atlantis exist when the continents were not separated yet? We have a Muse of Materials, which is a King of Pentacles. That is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, earthly signs. So the King of Pentacles is about lineage, okay? It can be, he's the most financial, abundant king. He can be a fatherly type figure. There's a bridge, though. There is a bridge, and we were talking about how the Atlanteans would build the bridges between those canals and the land to the main island, etc. Oh, wow. Huh. It's a bridge. It's a freaking bridge. do. I think so. I think it... Oh my gosh. Okay. Were these continents bridged together when Atlantis existed? Were these continents bridged together when Atlantis existed? Woo! Oh, it almost went downstairs. Temperance. That is Sagittarius energy, fire. It's a number 14. We can add those numbers up to get a 5. Changes, transformations, and challenges. So this can be duality. It can be mixing opposing energies well. Celebration, archangels, angel guidance. Oh, and there's moon phases and the sun above her head. Temperance. I think they were definitely, the Atlantis existed when they were more connected. Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So now, did the destruction of Atlantis happen because of an earthquake? Did it happen? Because of an earthquake? We have two of, we have the Lovers. Wow. There were two things, okay? So 2 of Inspiration, which is a 2 of Wands. This is like a feeling stuck energy, some kind of stuckness about what action to take or any stuckness. But we have a 2. 2 is material things, finances, earthly things, Taurus energy. And now we have a Lovers. Okay, the Lovers is a number 6 of the major arcana. 6 is health, wellness, daily routines, boundaries, and organization. The Lovers can be a relationship. It can be 2 things, 2 different things mixing well, duality, balance, a relationship, 2 something. There's angel wings again. And in this 2 of Inspiration, the 2 Wands, she's like opened up this whole other world and is looking out, and she's got a telescope. There are 2 different things, absolutely 2 different things. Okay, so here's this. And the Lovers. And the Lotus. The Lotus emerges from the depths of water, darkness, right? Okay, so now, was it an earthquake and a tsunami? Was it an earthquake and tsunami? A tsunami? Was it an earthquake and a tsunami? Holy cow. We have the Strength card, and we have a 5 of Emotions, 5 of Cups. We got that before. Okay, so on the Strength card, it's Leo energy, fire. It's a number 8, death, rebirth, regeneration, endings and new beginnings. 2 things, death, rebirth, endings and new beginnings, okay? It's a lion. It is like a Beauty and the Beast, the Lion and the Lamb, taming the beast, a very strongly so, courage, strength, and there are pyramids here. Okay. And then the 5 of Emotions, which is a 5 of Cups. That is that sadness or draining feeling, regret, draining portal vortex. Ooh, and there's ice here. So here's the Strength. This is fire energy, right? And here's ice, water, cups. So, did their technology have anything to do with the destruction? Let's just ask. Did their technology have anything to do with their destruction? Page of Inspiration, which is a Page of Wands. Pages can be young and mature, or something new, an offer, a message, or an opportunity to grab the magic wand, to make things happen, to take an action, to have a new passion. There's black cats that represent intuition. This rainbow cloud is above her. But this could be, we were talking about how the Blavatsky lady, Helena Blavatsky, believed that they had an internal war or something, and they had like psychic and supernatural powers. So magic wand, intuition, the rainbow of her hair. Oh, this is so interesting. Dang. Did their psychic or supernatural powers have anything to do with their destruction? Did the psychic supernatural powers that they supposedly had have anything to do with their destruction? Why would it do that? It just paused. Okay. Did their psychic powers or supernatural powers have anything to do with their destruction? We have the Hermit card. That's a number 9. Higher learning, higher education, spirituality, faith, spirituality. Okay. Psychic, supernatural powers. Okay. The Hermit is Virgo energy. It's an earth sign. The Hermit can be hermiting, pulling back, meditating. It could be home. It could be inner knowledge, inner wisdom, hidden knowledge, lighting the path in front of you. I think there was something about their spirituality, inner knowledge, inner wisdom, that had something to do with it. And she's in this desert. Oh, that is so crazy. Okay, can I ask this? Did they open up some kind of portal or vortex? Did they open up some kind of portal or vortex? Holy crap. Okay, we have a 4 of emotions, which is a 4 of cups. 4 is home, family, structure, stability, solid foundation. Cups is water, emotions, feelings. 4 of emotions, 4 of cups can be overlooking something, ignoring something, dismissing something, not seeing real reality or the positive side of life, honestly. And she's in this cup, and it's like this ocean. So, okay. Did they like fall out of a loving light spirituality? Did they like turn somewhat like dark or something? 6 of emotions, 6 health, wellness, daily routines, boundaries, organization. Emotions is cups, water. So 6 of cups is childhood. Childhood memories, your past. Don't let your past hold you back. Somebody or something you've known for a long time. Something about their past. That's strange. Oof. I'm gonna have to really think on that one. Absolutely. Oof. Okay. All right. A couple more questions, and then I'm gonna end this as a part 1, and then I can't wait to come back to finish part 2, because this has been really good. Okay. So now, geez, we might get more information later on for that. So, did some of the survivors become the Mayan and the Aztecs and others? Did some of the survivors of Atlantis become the Mayans and the Aztecs and others alike? Mayans, Aztecs, Egyptians. We already got Egyptians. But did they become the Mayans and Aztecs as well? All right. Let's try that again. Okay, can we try that again, please? Did the survivors of Atlantis become the Mayans and Aztecs? What is going on? Do I need another deck? Yeah, I need another deck. All right, fine, whatever. Okay, let's use Crystal Visions. Yeah. Jeez. Did any of the survivors of Atlantis become the Mayans and Aztecs? Oh my gosh, 9 of Wands. 9 is higher learning, higher education, spirituality, and faith. Wands is fire, action, passion, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. She has her lion companion, some kind of loyalty. 9 of Wands is a spiritual warrior, some kind of warrior. And it is standing up for your beliefs, standing up for what you've worked hard on, standing up for what you've built, what you've become. Oh boy. Okay. Do the Atlanteans survivors have any connection to the Aztecs and Mayans? Do they have any connection to the Mayans and Aztecs whatsoever? Four of Cups and Knight of Pentacles. 4 is home, family, structure, stability, solid foundation. Cups is feelings and emotions. 4 of Cups can be that overlooking, dismissing, not seeing reality or good side of life. And then the Knight of Pentacles, Knights where the armor, they battle. Pentacles is earthly. Knight of Pentacles is the dark horse. He always finishes the race. He may leave clues or breadcrumbs behind, but he's very determined to finish the race. Nothing's going to stand in his way. I think they have connections, ancestor connections with that 4, the home family, and they were like warriors, right? Warriors with that 9 of Wands and this Knight of Pentacles, and they nothing stood in their way, and they were determined and left clues behind. Absolutely. Okay, so a couple more. Are there also ruins of Atlantis near Europe as well? Are there also ruins of Atlantis near Europe as well? 8 of Cups. 8 is death, rebirth, regeneration, endings, and new beginnings. Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, water. 8 of Cups is walking away from what no longer serves you anymore, leaving behind something. I think maybe ruins were left behind in the waters. Cups. Yes, I do. I think so. Okay. If so, is that because of the separation of the continent? Is that because of the separation of the continent? Very strongly so. We have strength again. Leo energy. It's a number 8. Now we have 88. Death, rebirth, regeneration, changes, transformation, endings, and new beginnings. This is a very strongly so. This is a courage, strength, a strongly so. The lion and the lamb, taming the beast. Loyalty. Yes. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for our part 1 of, I don't know what to call it yet, the Legend of Atlantis. There we go. I hope you enjoyed. All this information is for entertainment purposes only. You never frickin' know anymore. Truth is always stranger than fiction. Let me glow, let you glow. Use your discernment. Let me know what you guys think. And I cannot wait to come back and finish part 2. And I hope to see you guys there. I really, really, really hope so. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you guys so very much. And this should be posted on my Rumble channel as well, linked in the description below. Thank you guys so much. Bye.